joining us on the program. Very pleased to have with us U.S. Olympic athlete Keith Sanderson. And Keith, welcome to the program, sir.
Hi, glad to be here.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on making the U.S. Olympic shooting team.
Thank you.
Now I understand that you were one of the later additions here. You actually earned your spot last weekend?
Yeah, it was last weekend. The USA Shooting Olympic trials and our national championships concluded last week. Mine was the second to last event to finish. The only one after mine was men's three position.
Okay. Now this is your second Olympic Games, right?
It is, yes.
Okay, so 2008 back in Beijing. What's different, about 2012 than 4 years ago for you?
Well, personally, last time I didn't really. I'm tempted to say I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I wasn't. I'd only been training for about 18 months for it. I'm an active duty soldier in the Army, so I had other responsibilities up until about 18 months prior, where I started to train for the most part full time. This time, however, I'm a more experienced shooter, and I've been training longer, almost this entire quad. Although not completely, but I've had this in my sight, so to speak, for the past 4 years, ever since I left Beijing.
Interesting. And so, what are your? Do you have any defined goals going to London?
Well, I want to win.
Yeah, gold medal. That's the goal.
Yeah, definitely.
So you feel confident. You feel like you're prepared. Can you talk about? The competition that you were going to face, or does that matter? I mean, with shooting, you're really competing against yourself as much as you are the other athletes. So, do you think about the other athletes that are going to be taking their shots as well?
Well, I mean, I'd like to say that I'm just trying to do my thing and trying to perfect my game at it. But the reality of the situation is I'm aware that there's other incredible athletes out there in the world. That Russia has an amazing program, China has an amazing program, Germany. So there's a lot of really fantastic athletes all throughout the globe that I'm competing against, and that becomes with the way there's a new final format for this quad and rapid fire, the way that it ends up being head-to-head competition. So they kind of force you to be aware on where you're standing relative to everyone else. So the way I approach is I don't try to hide from it. I kind of embrace it.
Right.
I try to.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Now, what about your background, Keith? Did you grow up shooting?
Well, I mean, I grew up around guns, but I didn't. Honestly, when I was a kid, I was more partial to a slingshot than when I was to a BB gun.
Okay.
I was around it. I liked guns, and I liked the engineering part. I've always been attracted to, the mechanism of them.
Right.
And but I never competed, or I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just kind of a fun junior, boyhood thing. And I ended up joining the Marine Corps. And I joined the Marine Corps because I wanted to be a sniper, and that was the best place, at the time, or that's what. I thought, because I liked guns. I didn't really plan on getting into competitive marksmanship, and the Marine Corps kind of has they put a high emphasis on marksmanship skill, and I'm naturally kind of competitive, so I wanted to be the best I could at everything that had a score next to it, and shooting was one of those things. And I ended up just progressing, and I got where I was the best in my unit, and then I had the base high score in the rifle range, and then went to division matches, and then went to the Marine Corps championships, and then over a period of years.
Right.
And then I ended up, I won Marine Corps championships the last two times I shot it, won division matches, and then went on, was competing at the national level, won things at the national level at Camp Perry. And then I got involved in the international part, and I kind of moved along from being a big fish in a small pond to getting bigger and bigger ponds, and that forced me to grow as a shooter. So now I'm kind of in the ocean and swimming with the big fish, trying to grow and be competitive with them.
Yeah, I mean, what is it like just to be an Olympian, Keith? I mean, when you found out that you were going back to London, how does your life change during the Olympic Games? Do you get any time to yourself?
Oh yeah, of course you do. It's an incredible team atmosphere and experience that you have as a member of the U.S. Olympic team, because you have so much support from America.
Mm-hmm.
Try to so you can perform at your best, and they really bend over backwards to make sure that you feel comfortable and everything goes according to plan. I remember last time I went, I looked at all the sports psych videos, and we went to all the different conferences and things like that to prepare you for the games. And one of the common denominators I heard through all those is like, well, there's nothing we can do to prepare you for when you start competing. It's going to be this thrill, this rush that's indescribable. And I thought, yeah, okay, whatever. And I went and I walked in the opening ceremonies and I was like, okay, it's a big parade. I really can't see what's going on. There's fireworks going on, but we didn't get to see them because we were underground somewhere. And then it wasn't until I actually started my competition with the first round down range that it hit me. And it was the most incredible feeling representing America that I can imagine. I can't even imagine it now anymore. It's not. There's no words that can do it justice.
Right.
But it wasn't until I actually competed that I felt that amazingness of it, which is kind of weird. I imagine this time it's going to be a little bit different. So, I mean, I've been through it before, but I imagine, I don't want to be so cocky to think that, I've done this before. It's going to be great.
Right.
I imagine this time it's going to be its own unique experience.
I would imagine so. I mean, I've read a couple of stories about, what the opening ceremony stadium is going to look like, and it sounds like it's, I'm afraid that I would just, walk out and immediately just be kind of dumbstruck and stop walking, just because of the spectacle of the whole thing.
Well, luckily, there's a whole bunch of people there with you to carry along. So, again, you do have this big team atmosphere of Team USA. So they'll keep you going if you get stuck.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we wish you the very best of luck, and Keith, I hope that we can continue talking to you. Love to have you on after the Olympic Games are over, but certainly, sir, hope you come back with the gold.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.